man chooses, a slave obeys. Walk through the fire, got a question to amaze. Would you kindly tell me who's pulling the strings? When the mind says yes, but the soul says think. Rapture shining like a dream in the deep, but every paradise got a price to keep. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Who controls your mind when you think you're awake? Down in Rapture where the water meets the sky, Andrew Ryan said no guys, no kings survive. Objectivism, self-interest at the core. Atlas shrugged, said the strong don't owe no more. No government chains, no moral command. Build what you want with your own two hands. But Ryan built a kingdom where freedom got strange. When everybody's selfish, who protects the exchange? A utopia built from a philosophy of pride. Then greed and Adam started eating it alive. Plasmid in the bloodstream, power in the veins. You can rewrite your body but can't rewrite your chains. The irony, cause deeper than a big daddy's roar, a city built on freedom became a psychological war. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Walk through the fire, got a question to amaze. Would you kindly tell me who's pulling the strings? When the mind says yes, but the soul says think. Rapture shining like a dream in the deep, but every paradise got a price to keep. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Who controls your mind when you think you're awake? Atlas shrugged, but Rapture couldn't shrug the weight. Every selfish decision had a consequence to fate. Ryan thought independence meant nobody could command, till Fontaine found no weakness in the plan. Atlas in the shadow, selling freedom with a smile. Objectivist ideals getting twisted all the while. Survival of the strongest, that's the creed in the hall. But the strongest manipulated can't control them all. Little sisters walking through the ruins, Adam, big daddy's guarding them. Monsters with a purpose, humanity traded for a chemical high. How much is freedom worth when morality dies? You harvest or rescue, that choice is yours to make, but every choice reveals what you're willing to forsake. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Walk through the fire, got a question to amaze. Would you kindly tell me who's pulling the strings? When the mind says yes, but the soul says think. Rapture shining like a dream in the deep, but every paradise got a price to keep. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Who controls your mind when you think you're awake? Then the phrase is, would you kindly? Suddenly every command don't feel so mighty. Thought you were the hero, thought you made the call, but somebody planted the words behind it all. Every mission, every move, every door that you pass was your free will, real program from the past. The twist ain't just shocking, it cuts to the soul. Can you call it a choice if somebody controls the goal? There's a question my old shock leaves in your head. Are we free because we choose, or because we're never led? Ryan's philosophy versus Fontaine's manipulation. Atlas shrugged against manufactured motivation. Rapture wasn't just a city beneath the sea, it was a laboratory asking what makes you free. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Walk through the fire, got a question to amaze. Would you kindly tell me who's pulling the strings? When the mind says yes, but the soul says think. Rapture shining like a dream in the deep, but every paradise got a price to keep. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Who controls your mind when you think you're awake? Maybe their chains ain't metal, maybe they're ideas. Maybe freedom disappears when obedience feels sincere. Maybe every yes deserves a question in return. Maybe wisdom is knowing when the lesson starts to burn. Rapture fell beneath the waves, but the question still remains. Who writes your choices when you think you broken chains? No king, no god, no master, so the philosophy claims. But if somebody says, would you kindly, would you still choose the same? A man chooses, a slave obeys. Don't let somebody else program your ways. Would you kindly, that's the question in the brain. Are you choosing your path or just following commands? Rapture drown, but the lesson still stays. Freedom ain't freedom if you surrender your ways. A man chooses,
ways. A slave obeys, question every command before you walk through the maze.